We're heading to Tasmania to meet a family who've survived and thrived after devastating loss.
We've been fortunate to go from desolation to what we've got now, where we've got plants, we've got family, we've got life. And so the life has been breathed back into this place. And it's just an absolute joy to be here.
On Tasmania's southeast coast, about 50 kilometres from Hobart, sits the idyllic fishing village of Dunalley. With its rural backdrop, it's a popular stop on the tourist trail and home to a couple of hundred residents. In January of 2013, as fires tore across Tassie, the township was engulfed by a firestorm. The hamlet was decimated. There were 90 properties destroyed, including the school, and 23,000 hectares of bush and farmland were gone. One image became the face of the tragedy, and it was seen around the world. Tim Holmes took the photo of his wife, Tammy, sheltering under a jetty with their grandchildren. As they struggled to breathe, their homes were engulfed by flames.
The fire took our house, it took the outbuildings, it took our vehicles, it took most of our possessions. And what remained was the guest house, thankfully, and even that was on fire, but we were able to fight that over a period of about 6 hours, and eventually we saved it.
The most important thing was that, you know, we saved 5 grandchildren, and yeah, we were safe under the jetty, even though it didn't feel that safe at the time, but we were safe.
7 years on, I'm visiting Tim and Tammy Holmes at Potters Croft, their 24-acre property, to see how they've rebuilt their lives and their gardens after the devastating fires.
It's nearly 30 years of gardening. So when we moved here, it was a sheep paddock. On the top of the hill, it was quite stony and rocky and heavy clay soil, so there was a lot of work to build it up and to make it into something that was nice.
Cool, what an entranceway.
Yeah, this is an arbour that Tim built out of recycled timbers. He really enjoys building with old timbers.
Yeah, some wafty jasmine on it too.
Yes,
it's
jasmine,
lovely.
and really enjoy the wisteria. But it needs a good arbour to hold it up, of course.
It never crossed my mind that we would leave here. I knew that we would have to re-establish, but we were ready for it. And with a bit more wisdom, actually. So having done it once, we were ready to do it again and thought, well, this time we might even do it a bit better.
Yeah. We just felt attached to it and thought, no, OK, been kicked in the guts, but we're going to get up and do it again.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
While Tim, a skilled builder, building designer and artist, focused on clearing up debris, rebuilding outbuildings and converting the one remaining building from guest accommodation to the family home, Tammy turned to the garden.
It was so bare and barren that I just needed to get into the soil. I needed to get plants happening. I needed to see greenery and flowers. So, yeah, it was part of me recovering and getting back on the horse.
With the assistance of an excavator, Tammy was able to relocate soil to meet her new garden vision.
Transported all over here with the backhoe and digger and filled the tanks up.
That has gorgeous consistency. That's delicious.
Yeah.
Well done.
Having edibles, I think, is really important. It makes me feel good. The asparagus was given to us from an old farmer when we first moved down here 35 years ago. And those crowns were apparently 80 years old when he gave us a few. And I thought I'd lost it completely. I found a few of the crowns, gently picked them up and plonked them in here, and we've had fantastic asparagus every year since.
So hold on, it's 115 years old. Wow, you're looking really good for your age.
Yeah.
And there's another element of the veggie patch that tells an important and beautiful story of rebirth. The fence around the kitchen garden was built with the boards from the now famous jetty where the family sheltered.
The jetty needed to be replaced with the boards.
Wow.
And they're quite, weathered and old, so we thought perfect for the fence.
And I love the design of lichen.
Yes. And you see the odd scorch mark from the fire, so it's a bit of history.
So when it came to reimagining or recreating this garden, did you design it with future fire in mind?
Partially, but I still wanted greenery around me, so I had to, give and take a bit.
A pittosporum hedge screens the courtyard. There's sweeping garden beds filled with roses, salvias, lavenders, leucadendrons, and other cottagey perennials, as well as callistemon, grevillea, young acacias, and kangaroo paws. It's a fantastic blend, and one that's been planned and planted with an artist's eye.
In the orchard, I was given quite a few trees after the fire by a few nursery people. So a bit of a mixture, a few different apples, 2 or 3 different apricots, cherries, quince.
And I noticed you use a lot of seagrass.
I do. It keeps the moisture in. If I mulch it quite thickly and then just water it once a week, it works quite well.
And being able to irrigate was a vital part of the garden's recovery. They had to re-establish water to the block.
We were able to dig trenches and bury polypipe to provide water all around the property, which has obviously been useful for irrigation for plants, but it's also good fire protection in case we ever have to face a fire again.
When the fire came and changed our lives in a day, I reflected on it almost straight away and thought, OK, what can I do to make the most of the time that remains? And so I embraced the change and took the opportunity to become a potter again.
How do you get this amazing texture over all your pottery?
Well, it's all to do with the plants. We use the casuarina fronds that grow on the property, and they burn during the firing process, and what remains are the elements, and all those elements melt and become a glass, and this is what you see, so it's a purely natural effect.
So you're incorporating botanicals into your pottery?
That's correct.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh yes, some of the big ones we'll keep for seed for next year. A lot of people got back into their gardens, and I think that really helps people. It centres you, it grounds you. It was good for me, it was good for us. It was good for our relationships with other people in the community, that we were able to share plants and talk plants and encourage one another in that.
Having the family living next door, sort of on the same property and interacting on a daily basis, is about as good as it gets. I can't imagine life being more rewarding than watching your grandchildren grow up on a day-to-day basis. And when we have that absolute pleasure of seeing them every day and living life with them.
There's a lot to be inspired about here. In just 7 years, with some hard work and good planning, Tim and Tammy have achieved something truly remarkable. They've created for themselves a new home, and these beautiful gardens have risen out of the ashes.
Tino, we're waiting for you.
Right here, mate.
Oh, very good.
Thank you for waiting, everyone.
Cheers.
Salute. Oh, yum. Thanks, mate.